Can't stop, nah. Like the chains and the harnesses, get down or lay down, cause can't stop, nah. We on fire like an arsonist, not a force to be bargained with. Can't stop, nah. Like the chains and the harnesses, get down or lay down, cause can't stop, nah. We on fire like an arsonist, not a force to be bargained with. Live and direct, well we live in the heck, never sidestepping until the prize arriving to check. The momentum is 4 engines higher than jets. Through adversity we purposely strive for the best. Just pride and respect, progression and oppression. Every rejection, no question, taught a bold lesson. So me and my close brethren keep moving 365, 24/7. Like the globe checking. It don't matter cause time ticks on. Body gets weak but your mind gets strong. Survive this long, the goal is computed. Stay focused, don't lose it. Can't stop, nah. Like the chains and the harnesses, get down or lay.
Hi everybody. I recently started working out with a Steel Mace and have really come to enjoy it. It's a pretty unique piece of equipment that can allow you to work certain movements that are really difficult to otherwise work. And so I went ahead and made a mace that is adjustable. You can scale up or scale down the weight that you're using, which I find really helpful. Because I've got a bad shoulder, so for some of the movements, some of the rotational movements, I find I need to use a much lighter weight than some of the other movements that are more simple and more full body movements, such as the grave digger, the twisted sword draw. Those I can go a lot heavier on, and so it's nice to have a mace that I can adjust based on the exercise instead of trying to force my body to adapt to a weight that might not be safe for my shoulder. So anyway, I thought I would go ahead and show you how to put one of these together. It'll cost you about $30, not including the cost of the weight plates that you'll be using. But once you've got your equipment together, it's really simple to put together. You take your steel pipe here and you go ahead and attach your adapter. And this, of course, goes from 1 inch to 3/4 of an inch. You're also going to want to really tighten this down. If you've got a vise and you can tighten it down with the vise, or you've got some vice grip pliers, definitely want to tighten it down with those. I'm just hand tightening it now for purposes of this video, but you definitely want to make sure it's tight because you don't want anything flying loose when you work out. From there, you go ahead and screw your 4-inch pipe in. It's threaded on both sides, and then you go ahead and you just put the plates on that you're going to use. So for a 16-pound mace, you're going to need 4 2.5-pound plates. And then once you've done that, you put your spacer, and then you screw down the flange. And you've got your mace. So a quick word too, as far as the spacer goes, you're going to need different size spacers, obviously, depending on the weight that you want to be working out with. So I would suggest, I went ahead and just bought a single spacer and made a single cut, and I have a vise, so I was able to use the vise to hold it. But I would suggest just buying, if you don't have a vise, just buy a foot-long piece of PVC, 1-inch internal diameter, so it can fit around the 3/4-inch pipe, and that will just make it a lot easier to cut because you'll have a nice long piece that you can grab onto with one hand, instead of if you're trying to cut a spacer and you're trying to hold it here and cut here. It could really be a little bit of a pain. So I think that will save you a little bit of trouble when you put your steel mace together. One last thing too, I found Aubrey Marcus's Steel Mace workouts to be really helpful. He's got a free one up on YouTube, and he's got a $5 download with about an hour's worth of workouts. Really helpful and really effective too, so I would recommend checking those out as well. Have a great time with your Steel Mace, and I hope you found this helpful.
Can't stop, nah. We on fire like an